as it relates to immigration, and we're coming off of this Eric Adams speech, which he went off on this madman in Texas talking about the Texas governor. I just thought it was ridiculous what he said, because New York, they advertise themselves as a sanctuary state. You know, Eric Adams said that it's a sanctuary state, and they really, the way that they talked about themselves being a sanctuary state, they did it in a way to shame other people for not having their policies. But what we're learning is that it kind of seems like their policies are for show. For show. So they get, what did they say? They said they had like 150,000, I think is what they were saying, in terms of the number of illegal immigrants that they'd had that arrived in New York. Okay, do you know, y'all know how many Texas has been dealing with? Several million. You know Del Rio? Y'all want to know how many they deal with? I mean, it's crazy. And he's freaking out because he's, for one time, is getting just a little bit of what Texas border towns have been dealing with. You're kidding me. You're kidding me. That to me, I thought they were a sanctuary city. I mean, that's how they were advertised. So he was going off on this rant. And then he was going off. We have audio soundbite 19. This is where he went further. He was saying, oh my gosh, it's destroying New York City. Listen to this.
We're here. We're getting no support on this national crisis. And we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month.
You know what gets me? He's like, oh my gosh, it's going to destroy New York City. He's getting just a taste of what border towns in Texas have had to deal with. He tweeted back October 20th, 2021, quote, "We should protect our immigrants, period. Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration." All right? You're a sanctuary city. This comes with, what did you think? Did you think that you weren't going to have to do anything? Did you think that you could hold a policy position and never be called upon to actually try it out? To actually put it to practice? Of course they did. That's why you get the term limousine liberal. You get these progressives that pretend to have so much compassion and such a heart for people, but when push comes to shove, they really don't. And you're seeing it here. This is not a border state problem. And this is where Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, Texas governor, they've done very well with this. Because it's not a border, and it shouldn't be a border state problem. You want to talk about grifting and welfare and entitlement? For all of these states that proclaim that they're sanctuary states, or these metropolitan areas that proclaim that they're sanctuary cities, it is the ultimate grift. These people are able to wrap themselves in the veneer of compassion due to the hard work and sacrifice of everybody else who live by the border. These blue state self-appointed elitists up in New York and Maryland and D.C. who wrap themselves up in this veneer of compassion. We care about people who come to the country. We're sanctuary city, we're sanctuary state. They are afforded that cosplay by the sacrifice of people in Del Rio, by the sacrifice of people in McAllen, by the sacrifice of people in hot sectors in border towns all across the southern border. Those people have been paying the cost. They've been footing the bill for everyone else to pretend. And now the bill's come due for these people. It's come due for New York City. It's come due for Eric Adams. And they're bitching about it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we'd have to do 1/8 of what all these other people have been doing for decades. Well, now it really isn't a border state problem anymore because we will make it your problem. If we can't enforce our laws, by God, we're going to make it your problem. If you're going to make it to where we have an issue with millions of people coming across our border, we're going to make it your problem. We have cartels that we're dealing with because of an unenforced border. We will make cartels your problem. We will make opioids your problem. We will make people who enter illegally your problem. You're not going to grift off of the back of hardworking people. And can I just add one other thing? Because I know the left loves to play racial politics. But racial politics are alive in immigration. Look at Martha's Vineyard, comparable to Del Rio. They had 50 people who entered illegally sent up to Martha's Vineyard. Now, I know conservatives, bear with me, because if there's one thing that I love to do, it's to take the politics and the identity cards that the left uses and show them how ridiculous they are to use it in the first place. I hate that I even have to explain it, but we live in this era. But racial politics are alive in immigration because the people who complain the loudest about it are coddled urbanites. People like Eric Adams. You know that he lives in the nice part of Manhattan. Lives in the governor's mansion. All of these white, progressive, trust fund socialists that always say that they're all about sanctuary. But oh my gosh, they don't want to have to be by these people. That's how they think. That's what you saw in practice in Martha's Vineyard. They are fine with people at the border dealing with it. And what they don't realize, because they don't ever leave the Tupperware fresh environment of their urban dwelling, is that, people who live at the border and Border Patrol are predominantly Hispanic. And it's Hispanic Americans that really dislike illegal immigration almost more than anybody. Because why should someone else get to cut in line? When you've done all the hard work of doing everything that you're supposed to do, filling out every form, crossing every T, dotting every I. And then you got these people up in Martha's Vineyard, pinkies out, mimosa land, that make it harder for everybody else at the border. That's the racial politics in it. You got a bunch of white trust fund socialists up in Manhattan and coddled urbanites who think that predominantly Hispanic border towns should have to pay the cost for all of this. There's your racial politics in this. Now, to this point, yesterday, after we were off air, this news came out. A federal judge has ordered Texas to remove the floating barriers aimed at deterring illegal entrants, and it bars the state from building new buoys on the Rio Grande. Now, you remember these. We had the Texas governor on about this. By the way, his statement yesterday is they're going to appeal this. This judge, these are the ones where they put these, and they're movable. They're not permanent structures. They put these giant buoys in the water to stop people because some of the, for the people who've never been to the border, there are parts of the Rio that you can literally just like walk across. It's like almost a creek. You can walk across it. And they're really hot sectors. And they put these buoys up, and some of the places where it's more shallow and the current is a lot calmer, they put these buoys up to deter these crossings as a force multiplier. And Abbott said he's not asking for permission. It's all part of Operation Lone Star. Here's my thought. I think I would have a lot of respect, and I like that the governor's appealing this. Why should we make us? Bring your happy asses to Texas and you come and make us take this out of the Rio. If the federal government can disregard immigration law, well, then we're going to disregard your illegal edict. I had somebody tell me, well, what are you going to do? You're going to join the National Guard and go down there and face off against the federales? No, I actually believe in George Mason's philosophy. When he was asked, who are the militia? And he said, it is the whole of the people, every man and woman. I kind of like that approach. But I'm done with this. If I were the Texas governor, I would say, okay, yeah, we're going to appeal it, but you come and make us. come and make us. And then have a buoy on the flag a la Alamo and then challenge them. I still would like to see that.